What is going on? So I'm pretty excited about this lesson. This song literally just dropped. I think it was last night. It's Justin Timberlake's newest song, Filthy. So filthy. And there is some really cool drum stuff that happens up front, as well as there's some cool things that happen kind of in the middle of this. And there's a sequenced groove, a programmed groove going throughout the song, but the intro is real drumming. And so I wanted to break that down because maybe you want to add this intro into, maybe you play in a group and you guys want to do a segue, or maybe you guys want to actually play this new song by Timberlake. So let's go ahead and break this apart. Now, the first measure of this intro, this is going to be 97 BPM once we get it up to working tempo. But the first measure is going to be repeated 3 different times. So once you've learned this measure, you've literally almost learned half of the intro. Okay? So we start with a crash cymbal and a kick drum on 1. And let me go ahead and preface this with this part has four toms in all, but I'm going to be covering the bottom 2 toms with just my floor tom because I didn't want to set up another tom. I don't have room. There's nowhere else. And so I'll be covering both of the bottom toms in the sheet music, which is actually in the video description below this, and we're going to include the link for the intro music that I played to. We went ahead and made a track for that, Tim did, and it's awesome. So you can play along to it and practice before you actually practice to the song. You can download both of those. They're in the video description. So I'm going to be playing the bottom 2 toms played on that floor tom, but I'll be going through the sticking I would use as if I had 4 toms. So let's go with this beat 1. It's going to be a crash, and you can do it 1 cymbal or both cymbals. I prefer both cymbals on the big opener like that. So it's going to be a downbeat of 1. The of 1 is played on the high tom. So it's going to go 1 E and Then we have 2 E come into the second tom and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and All right, I literally just learned this because I heard the intro and I was like, gotta learn it, gotta teach it, gotta happen now. So I'm still like hashing through some of this and referring to the sheet music on some of this. So on beat 3, we have another crash. It's going to be that same rhythm that we just played for 2 beats, but it's going to be on different toms. So again, on beat 3, we have a crash, and then it's going to go on the of beat 3. We'll start here on the second tom. So 3 E and 4 E, 3 E and then I'm going to start 4 E and So on beat 3, we have that same rhythm for 2 beats. It's going to go 3 E and the is going to be on the second tom. Except I'm going to start it with my right hand. That's how I'm going to do that. It's going to go 3 E and 4 E and I'm going to play a double here. So 3 E and 4 E and Let me play that full measure for you so you can see how it all wraps together. I'll demonstrate it at 65 BPM. All right, in the second measure of the intro, it's not that hard. We have 4 on the floor kick drum, so it's going to be a crash on 1. So 1, 2, 3, and then on 4, we play a kick, second tom, the E of 4, and is going to be on that lower floor tom. So 4 E and All right, there's some stickings that have to be adjusted because they're going down here and for how we need to get around the tom. So it's going to go. Then the next measure is going to be measure 1 again. It's repeated, so it's like a motif. It's a theme, okay? So we're going to go back through measure 1 again, and I'll demonstrate that again in just a second. But let's get to measure 4. Measure 4 is a lot of fun. It's got some hits with the band. So beat 1 is crash. Then on 2, we're playing what would be called a hemiola, or a 3/2 pattern. So it's going to go 2 with a kick drum and a crash, E and with a crash, all right? So 2 E and on 3 E, we're going to be on the second tom, 3 E on the and, another crash, 3 E and, back to the high tom, 4 E and then a kick drum. Okay, so let me play that really slow, and then I'll play it with a click. 4 E and one and 4 E and 1 E All right, now we're at measure 5, all right? So if you're following along on the sheet music, measure 5 of this intro, it's the same as the first measure. So literally, measures 1, measure 3, and measure 5 are the same thing. Now we have more accents with the band in the 6th measure, so let's get to that one. And I play the sticking a little weird because of how it would lay on the toms. So all of them are gonna be right, left, right, okay? So beat 1 is going to go kick, left, right, kick, left, right, and I'm going to do the rest of them on my floor tom, although if you're looking at the sheet music, you'll see that it's between 2 toms, so it's going to be kick, left, right, kick, left, right, kick, left, right, kick, left, right. Ba, 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 ba. 4 E and a 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4. Then we have measure 7. Measure 7 is going to be 4 on the floor in the kick drum. We're going to have a crash at the start of that. So 1, 2, and this is where there's another rhythm. It goes 3 E and 4 E and We've seen that rhythm before, right? That's going to be almost exactly what's in the other 3 measures that we've repeated, but it's a little bit changed, okay? So it's going to go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. Then the next measure is simply a build. Now I like to do this with a big crash, and then I bring my 8th notes down after that crash and kind of do a small crescendo within that measure. So I'll play those 2 measures together so you can hear what they sound like. 2, 3, 4. And then we have the last measure of this intro. That's going to be measure 9, and this is a measure that's real important because this comes back in the middle of this song. It's a pickup fill for the breakdown, and so it's just a little bit different when we play it for the pickup, and I'll show you how that is. But this fill, it's linear, and which makes it really fun. Again, at 97 BPM is where this song sits. So we're going to go 1 E and then on 2 E kick drum and So just those 2 first beats. 4 E and 2 E and Then on beats 3 and 4, they're going to be on the bottom 2 toms, but for these purposes, I'm just going to play it on the bottom tom. So it's going to be on 3 E and excuse me, it's going to go 3 E and 4 E and on the kick drum into one of the next measure. So let me play those 2 together for you, or let me play those last 2 beats for you. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and on that 4, I start that pattern with the left hand, so a 4 starts there, E and then kick drum, because it's coming from here. It's really, it goes 3 E and 4 E and but I don't have that 4th tom, so I'm doing it all on my floor tom. So let me play that slowly, that whole measure slowly. 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and Now I'll demonstrate that with the click so you can see what that sounds like. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that we got the whole intro, let's put that together. I'm going to play it slowly for you at 65 BPM so that you can hear exactly how that lays at a slower tempo, and you can go do it yourself. 3, 4. All right, real quickly, I'm going to touch on the breakdown pickup fill, although we've already learned it, really. And so the breakdown pickup fill is going to be that last fill from the intro minus the crash. So now it's going to go like this. 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 4 E and A. 2, 3, 4. Now there's an outro pickup fill towards the end of this song that's a lot of fun to play too. And so those rhythms are, you can see that on the sheet music that's linked below this, those rhythms are this. It's going to go 1 E and, then beat 2, we're going to the second tom, it's going to go 2 on the kick drum, E, and is empty, and then So 2 E and 1 E and Let's play those two beats together. 4 E and 1 E and Then in beat 3, we're going to go to the bottom 2 toms. So if you have 4 toms, this would be on the 3rd tom. And so you're going to go kick, left, right, or right, left. I would do left, right. I would start the next rhythm with the left because of the way that would lay going down the toms. But that sticking is totally personal, and you can adjust that. So it's going to go kick, left, right, and then left, right, left. The whole fill. And now the last thing before we get done with this is the outro groove. So it's 16th notes, and this is going to be a brisk pace. So we're going to really need to watch your technique on this, but it's going to be 16th notes on the hi-hat with the right hand. 4 on the floor on the kick drum. 2 and 4 on the snare drum. So 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a. But the fun thing is we're going to raise the hi-hat. We're going to start raising it on the and of each beat. So we have 2 16th notes that are going to catch that open hi-hat. So real slowly that sounds like this. For fast hi-hat patterns like this, a lot of times I'll use the drop grab with my hand, so it goes a lot like this. And there it is, the breakdown of Justin Timberlake's newest song, Filthy. So filthy dirty, all right? That's gonna be the intro and all the major parts in the middle of it. So if this helped you, share it with a friend you think may dig it or you think it may help them, repost it. You can hit that thumbs up button. If it helped you, leave me a comment. Let me know you were here. If you ever wanna go deeper into the drumming lessons, over on my website, there is a ton of information in the members area, so you can always go check that out. The link's below this in the video description. But no matter what you do, I'll see you here in the next lesson.